Hey, wiggity wowzers, hold on to your trousers. It's True Food Reviews. I'm Mark.
I'm Nick.
And that is not going to be our catchphrase from now on. Today we're looking at something that most people think is a vegetable and some people think is a grain. It's corn. What is it really? You be the judge. Here's some fun facts for those who don't know. On average, an ear of corn has 800 kernels in 16 rows.
I'm not going to bother to verify that, but it sounds plausible.
Looks about right. A bushel of corn can sweeten 400 cans of Coca-Cola.
Wow. Yeah, well, everything's made with corn. You know, all the candy, all the pop, everything that
Even some plastic.
Everything that kills you is made with corn.
Yeah. Corn can be produced in various colors, including blackish, bluish gray, purple, green, red, white, and the most common, yellow. Jenks, buy me a corn cob. Sweet corn leaves were used as chewing gum by Native Americans.
I think we'll have to give that a try later on.
And corn is grown on every continent except
Africa?
Antarctica.
Oh, well, that hardly counts.
As what, a continent?
Yeah.
Or as a corn
Well, I was just
operation?
thinking. Well, no, it hardly counts as a continent. I was thinking, like, what? Whatever. We'll just eat the corn.
All right, well, these are already half peeled, so we don't really need to give you a tour of it. But as you can see, you've got the kernels on the inside. On the outside is this leafy green stuff with a bit of stringiness. I don't think we really are going to concern ourselves with that too much. What are some of your first impressions? Just have a look at it.
I mean, I think the first most obvious impression is that it's hard.
It is hard.
You have to really...
Doesn't necessarily mean it's tough. It could just be crunchy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean it's unpleasant, but we're looking at a very hard thing. You have to really believe in the integrity of your teeth to want to get into this.
I'm actually going to peel mine
I'm
here.
very curious about chewing the leaf, using it as chewing gum. I'm going to try that later in the episode.
Well, I took my leaves off. Why don't you save the leaves for later?
Okay, and the stringiness is and has and always will be just a big nuisance as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah.
as far away from that as we can get, the better. Let's get rid of this down here.
Pull that off. All right. Well, the fact that this can sweeten 400 cans of Coke kind of makes me optimistic that this is going to be a really sweet experience. No pun intended. Pun intended.
All right, let's give it a shot.
All right.
I think that's really good. I really enjoyed my first bite.
It's really dripping.
I was worried that because it was raw and hard, it would be dry. But in fact, that could not be farther from the truth. And
I'm going to have to take one of these towels we got here.
in fact, we're dripping.
It almost has this like, the juice is kind of almost buttery. The way I was actually startled for a second because it's milky. It was not like a transparent juice.
No.
It's kind of, it's not viscous, but it's thick. It's very interesting.
There's a thick, yet watery and sweet. It's almost like drinking a cane sugar juice or something. You can really understand eating it this way, why it's called sweet corn, why they use it to make kids obese and give people diabetes and stuff.
Yeah. I can really see that. Now, this just popped into my head, and I don't know if it's crazy, but the taste kind of reminds me of pumpkin. Does that resonate at all with you?
The only reason I'm hesitant to go with that evaluation is that the texture is just so different that it's hard for me to reconcile the two experiences.
It just kind of, to me, when I bit into it, the first thing that popped for me was had the smell of when you're carving a pumpkin. It's very interesting. It's not a grain, and it's not a vegetable. It's, I believe corn is considered a type of grass, and this is just essentially the seeds at the top.
Well, that's going to shoot this to number one in the grass power rankings in terms of tastiness. Like, I can't think of a tastier grass than this.
No, for sure. I'm not going to lie, though. As much as I'm enjoying it, I don't know if I could like take down this whole cob. It's like it's interesting. Eating it raw, it's stronger, I guess.
Yeah, it's more
Filling.
potent.
It's almost like I don't need as much. It's kind of like, I will for sure tell people to try it this way. I personally only really had it from a can myself, but I don't know that I would eat a whole cob. You have seen.
I seem to have done that, so it's hard for me to agree with your point because my mouth's covered in corn juice and I'm pretty much done this cob.
Ooh.
Realistically, we're talking about semantics here. I got nothing but good things to say about this when you boil it down. Also, no pun intended.
Pun intended.
Anyway, I think it's time to take a look at the leaves.
Good idea.
Because I think we've covered this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of rip the leaves and bunch it up into a piece of gum, essentially, and see if the Native Americans were onto something, which they often are, because they were here first. They knew what the corn was up, and if they think this is a chewing gum type thing, I'm open-minded to try it.
I am interested because if this works, then corn really gets stuck in your teeth, and it would be great if maybe that's how they designed it, is so that you'd eat the corn and then you'd use the gum to get it out of your teeth.
Yeah, that's a really ingenious product if both of those things are working in sync that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put this in. It's kind of like we've got kind of like a long juicy fruit type piece.
Yeah, I just kind of fold mine in half like that.
At first I didn't get it, but there's something to this. I think it's fair to say.
It tastes not entirely unlike the corn. Oftentimes the leaves are really bitter or really tart, or like just as a defense mechanism. But because corn is not a vegetable, it's grass, that plant would want to promote itself. So there's no reason why a crow wouldn't want to get into this.
It's interesting. Yeah, like you said, it's almost like a weaker version of the corn. Say you had a certain amount of corn would make 400 cans of Coke. This would make 75.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
The stringiness is a little bit of a problem, but if you have a couple of strings that come out and they kind of tickle the back of your throat and whatnot. But I think this is an experience worth having as well.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they soaked it in water or dried it in the sun or something that made it.
Yeah, there might have been another
chewier
step here. Yeah.
I am going to spit it outside though.
Yep. Fair.
I don't know that is worth swallowing.
I almost wish I had shown the piece because it becomes a ball, but the stringiness remains. So that's the big weakness of it.
It's definitely got the
string
factor.
Well, makes the chewing less smooth.
I guess this has overall been a pretty positive experience, so I'm willing to give it a positive review, but not overwhelmingly positive. I think I'll give it a B-. It's just not something that I could see myself doing on repeat. It's kind of like going on a roller coaster. It's good, but it's not as good as some I've been on. It's not as fast, it's not as tall, it's not as long, those kinds of things. But this is something I would recommend to other people, even if I'm not going to be doing this on a day-to-day basis.
I think maybe I have a bit more of a sweet tooth than you, because I'm going to give it a bit of a stronger recommendation. I'm going to give it a B+. I think it has a very powerful sweetness that's worth experiencing. This chewing thing, that's fun. I think that's a one-and-done type activity, probably. But yeah, I really enjoyed myself, and I think you guys would too if you give it a chance.
Well, there you have it, folks. That concludes this edition of True Food Reviews. Oh, I could use some of that gum.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yep.
I'm Mark.
Stay safe. I'm Nick. See you next time on True Food Reviews.
That That woman was looking at us.